The dress code of 2010. On April 10th, 2000, Sasha, just like any other day, was walking in the hall to go to her next class. Robin and Gracia of the Daily News reports that a fashion insult escalated into a bloody violence as three 7th grade girls attacked her and slashed a 6th grader at Washington Heights School. Sasha was punched in the face and cut by a metal object. Violent incidences like this happen all over the United States. In doing some research on this project, I came to agree with teachers, principals, and parents that adopting a school uniform policy would be benefit to schools to help reduce violence and maintain a safe school for young children and teens. Schools are to be a safe learning environment. Young children and teens who are safe and secure, who learn basic values and essentials of good citizenship, become better students. Public school uniforms became popular in 1994. The Long Beach, California School District was the first to require uniforms. A year later, according to the district, school fights and muggings were down 50%, and sexual offenses declined 74%. Since we as a society need to keep our children safe at the schools, here are some ways we can do this by adopting school uniform policies. First off, the adoption of school uniform policies would decrease violence and theft. Children are getting beat up at school because they are wearing designer shoes and designer clothes. Other people want them, therefore they feel violence is the way to take them. In contrast, children are also getting beat up and hurt because they are not wearing designer clothes and designer shoes. If children were to all be wearing the same clothes and shoes, none of this violence would take place. The second issue, it would help prevent gang members from wearing their clothes and their insignias. Along with the uniform adoption policy, the school district can also enforce an accessory policy, which means they will limit the amount of accessories that the students can wear along with their uniforms. This will help prevent the gang colors and the insignias being worn. The third reason to adopt uniform policies in schools, it was to help improve learning and it would help improve their discipline. School uniforms would reduce the amount of distraction due to the normal skimpy and inappropriate apparel that are worn by children. If all students had to worry about at school other than their schoolwork and education, their grades will increase. The fourth reason is it's very cost efficient. It is cheaper to buy school uniforms than to go out and buy a wardrobe of the new, hip, and trendiest styles. For those families that would not be able to afford the uniforms, the school districts can also incorporate a financial assistance plan to help these families. School uniforms take the pressure off students to pay top dollar for clothes, or according to Reginald Wilson, a senior scholar at the American Council on Education in Washington, D.C. I think it does lower the cost of clothes, and kids don't emphasize clothes as much when they are all wearing the same thing, Wilson said. Certainly, the compulsion to wear the best shoes or best sweaters and so forth has been prevalent in schools ever since I was in school, and the poor kids always felt inferior. Lastly, the fifth reason to adopt school uniform policies is pure for convenience. It helps me to get up in the morning and not have to think about what you're going to wear, said Maria, a 9th grader who plays soccer, who swims, and wears a uniform to her high school in Washington, D.C. Maria wears a white Oxford shirt, brown shoes, and a gray and maroon skirt. It has to be long enough to touch the ground when she kneels. I have brought today just a simple piece of clothing, a polo shirt, and a pair of khakis that would add a tasteful sense to uniforms in our public school. They can be purchased at any local department store. In conclusion, President Clinton was for pro-uniform. In a speech in 1996, he said, "If it means that the schoolroom will be more orderly and more disciplined, and that our young people will learn to evaluate themselves, by what's on the inside instead of what they are wearing on the outside, then our public schools should be required to require their students to wear uniforms. Uniforms by themselves cannot solve the problems that our schools are having, but it can be one positive contributing factor to discipline and safety. Working with parents, the teachers, the students, and the principals, we can make the adoption of school uniforms a strong overall safety program to help our children. Thank you.